the next 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you everything I have learned in the sports card industry to sell millions of dollars in sports cards, and to do you one even better. If you follow what I'm about to share with you in the next 10 minutes and you follow everything to a T for the next month, and you don't at the minimum, double your money, I will personally PayPal you $500, and you can just send me a message to my Instagram at EricMichaelMLP. That's how confident I am this video will help you start making a side income with sports cards. Okay, so let's get into it and let me teach you how to start making money doing this stuff. So the way we make money is by doing something called grading. We are grading a sports card, okay? And let me explain what that is. So it is what it sounds like, right? You could buy a card, and usually the best company people send these cards to get graded to is a company called PSA. And if PSA deems that the card is a 10 out of 10 condition, it can be graded a 1, a 2, a 3, a 5, an 8, a 10. But if it gets that 10 with a new card, a modern card, when I say modern, I'm talking about cards that are probably like 2010 and up, you're going to make a lot of money. Now, usually, the place I like to stay at in terms of buying cards is buying cards around like $100 to $150. So if you buy a card for, let's say, $100, you could send it into PSA. It's going to take about, let's say, 5 to 6 weeks to get back to you. It could be a little bit less. It could be a little bit more. But it's going to cost you roughly $20 to get that card graded. And if PSA grades that card a 10, you will sell it for roughly $300, right? So you buy a card for $100, spend about $20 to get it graded, and it sells for $300 if it grades a 10, okay? Really good, right? And buying one card is probably not going to change your life, but if you're doing this 2, 3, 4, or 5 times a week, you know, that's an extra $1,000, $2,000 a week. That's really good. So the next thing you're probably asking yourself is, Eric, how do I know what cards are going to grade at 10? Well, let me get into it. So the way sports cards works is like this, and it's probably, once again, exactly how you think. The way these expensive cards come into existence, you know, cards that are $200, $500, $1,000, is people enjoy the thrill of opening up boxes and packs and cases. They call this breaking, right? So a company like Panini, for example, so Panini is a company that makes a lot of sports cards, mainly for NFL and NBA, because they have the rights to NFL and NBA to put their logos on their cards. They create these boxes and sell it to the public. The public enjoys the thrill of opening up these boxes and packs, and sometimes they get lucky, sometimes they don't get lucky. Honestly, it's a losing game in the long run, but the lucky people get these expensive cards, and they either choose to get them graded, hold them, usually sell them right away on eBay, and then people like me or my students or you maybe watching this video go and buy these cards, and you can get these cards graded. Now, it's important what I just said. So when you're grading a sports card, it's important to know the condition, right? You need to be buying a card that is in good condition, right? Because we need the card to be in good condition, so the card grades a 10. Makes sense. And there's 4 pieces of criteria that goes into every card, okay? The corners, the edges, the centering, and the surface. Okay, these are the big 4. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be sending these cards to PSA to get graded. The grades or the subgrades, those 4 things I just said, they're called subgrades. The subgrades they care about the most usually are the corners and the centering. Those are the 2 big ones, okay? Especially the corners. PSA cares a lot about the corners. There's other grading companies that grade a little bit differently, but PSA is where you're going to make the most amount of money. So obviously that's where we want to send the cards to be graded. And you need to be making sure the corners are on point and the centering's on point, just for starters, okay? And those are the 2 easiest ones to see, because when you're buying these cards, usually you're going to be looking online, okay? You could do it at card shows, you could, but the way I teach it is online, because most people just want to make money from their phone and want to make money from their laptop and live that laptop lifestyle. So corners and centering are the easiest ones to see. Okay, now we want to be buying cards that are newer. So remember how I just talked about how people open up these boxes and cases and get these cards out of them? Well, think about this for a second, and this is a simple thing, and it sounds simple when I say it right now, but it took me years to figure out, all right? Would you rather buy a card of, let's say, let's take someone like Marcelo Meyer, okay? His rookie year was in 2021. Marcelo Meyer, his card's about 2 years old, okay? Not that old, but not that new. Or would you rather buy that card, or would you rather buy a 2013 Aaron Judge rookie card? Which card has a better chance of being in good condition? The newer card, obviously, right? An Aaron Judge rookie card, there's multiple things that could be wrong with it, right? It's been in the mail a bunch of times, so it's been, fumbling around in the mail, bouncing back up and down in the bubble mailer, right? No good. Also, you have to ask yourself, if a card is in 2013 and it's probably exchanged hands a bunch of times, why isn't it graded? Right? There's usually a reason it's not graded, because there's something wrong with it. So just to give yourself a better chance, you want to be buying cards from this year. Okay, so as I'm talking right now in June of 2023, and you'll probably see this video in July of 2023, most of the cards I've been buying are guys that came out this year in the past few months, in March and April, like Paolo Banchero, Kenny Pickett, right? Sam Howell, guys like these. Their cards are only 3, 4, 5 months old. Just naturally, they're going to be in better condition, okay? So those are the types of cards we want to be going for, okay? So what I want to do is I want to jump into my computer and show you exactly what I'm talking about, because, I can talk to talk, but let's walk to walk, and let me show you exactly how to do it step by step so you are not confused. Let's get into it. All right, so let's get into it, and let's do a few-minute training on exactly what I'm talking about. So, right, I said we want to be buying cards that are newer, okay? So I know a new type of card that recently came out about 3 to 4 months ago was Prism. Prism football is good. We're heading into the football season. Stuff's going to tick up. So let's look at Prism football, okay? And let's be specific. So let's type in 2022 Prism Kenny Pickett, right? The quarterback for the Steelers. Can't go wrong there. So let's take a look. And what I like to do is I like to set the minimum to about $100, because if we're spending about $20 to get a card graded, you can't be buying a card that's like $5, right? So it just makes sense. Actually, this card looks pretty good already. But let's do a minimum $100, and I like to click newly listed so I don't run over cards I've already seen. And right here on this left-hand side, you can click no. I'll have a training on this another day. How to search eBay and stuff, because I'm going to go over this a little bit quick so this video doesn't run too long. But this card, just kind of scrolling, doesn't look that bad. And what we can see is, so the centering, right? Remember I talked about the centering? You can see the top here is a little bit smaller than the bottom. So the centering on this one is off. Let's look at this card that I clicked before. This card is, the centering, this left side is a little bit bigger than the right side. The top's a little bit bigger than the bottom. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not great. But let's continue our search. Let's see something like this. All right. So this card looks pretty good. So the trick with these cards is the hardest thing to see is surface. Okay? Surface is very difficult to see. But this card, right, the left and right look pretty similar. The top, bottom look pretty similar. I can't find anything wrong with it. By the way, this seal, when there's a seal over the card, usually that indicates that the card was hit from a break, which means it has not been graded, which is what we're looking for. So what we can do now is we can go to this website called 130point.com and see what this card is worth, okay? Because the great thing about sports cards is usually we can see how much money we're going to make. So let's type this card in. So this is a Kenny Pickett Silver Prism Auto. And let's see. So this card is worth, you can see it sold for $261. A PSA 8 sold for $275. $280. So we get the gist, right? $290. So this is a different type of card, not the same card. So this card's worth about $270 to $280. Now what we can do next is see if there's any PSA 10 sales. Are there any? Okay, so can't find any PSA 10 sales. So you know what I would do in this situation? Watch this. All right, so check this out. So I can't find any 10 sales of Kenny Pickett. Okay, there's just 9s, 8s, right? You can see the grade here, 8. So what I did is I looked up Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder's the quarterback for the Falcons. Same year, he doesn't sell for the same as Kenny Pickett. But what we could do is we could see Desmond Ridder's card is about 180. Right, 180 it sells for, and then as a 10, it sells for about 510. So check this out, right? Desmond Ridder, right? Raw, his card equals 180, and a PSA 10, let's just say, equals about 500. So what this tells me, right, if you do the math, 500 divided by 180. That means Desmond Ridder, this card goes up 2.77 times from raw to a PSA 10. So if we look at Kenny Pickett, right, we just discovered that his raw card is about, call it 280. So what we could do is we could do 280, right? 280 times 2.777 equals 777. So we can expect a PSA 10 of Kenny Pickett to be worth somewhere like this. And if we look at the PSA website, okay, we can see how much it's going to cost us to get a card graded. So I personally get cards graded for $19 because I send cards in bulk. But if you can't do that, you could spend about $25 to get it graded. So you spend $280, you spend $25 to get the card graded, and if it grades a 10, that's not bad, right? You'll sell for about $777 according to this math. So this is just one card I found. So I would come in and offer like $230, $240, come in low. It might get rejected, it might not, and then then work my way into it. Maybe he'll counter $300, and hopefully we'll meet in the middle somewhere. So yep, that's what I would do there. So that, hopefully this helps you. I don't want to spend all day on eBay because I could do this for hours. That's addicting. But this is just one card, one player, right? And you can just see how much money there's to be made, right? We're looking at the corners, the edges, the centering, the surface. We know this card's new, so it's going to give us a better chance of that card grading. So hopefully this training helped, and let's head back to the camera. Hopefully that video helped you, right? It's just one card. It took me about 5 minutes to find, and you buy a few cards a day, it's a good amount of money, right? So that is how to make a side income grading sports cards, and you'll see me continue to talk about this because I just think it's the greatest way to make money online, right? You don't need any fancy softwares, tech skills, right? Really, you just need a phone or a laptop and an internet connection. That's it, and you can start buying sports cards and really start making decent money, right? There's no other place you can buy an asset and a month later sell it for double or triple. And is this gonna make you $1 million a month? Probably not, but it's a very realistic way to make, a few $1,000s a month on the side, which is fantastic, right? So hopefully this training helped you guys just a little bit and helped one person make some extra money. If you like this stuff, like, share, comment, subscribe. I like to reply to my comments as much as possible, and go back and forth with people if you would disagree with on something, or maybe you agree on everything I said. Usually that's not the case, but like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.